All right, in 3, 2, 1.
Run! Go! Get to the podcast!
Are you telling me that you built a time machine? Out of a podcast?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and podcast. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Hey everyone, welcome to Get to the Podcast. Let's get to the podcast with the number 2. My name is Diego D'Souza.
I'm Nick Gambino.
And I'm Neil Carson.
Wake up, Neil.
We're now pleased to bring you
waking
our
up.
featured presentation. Remember that?
So, what we're talking about today, guys, is the fact that I met 2 of the dogs from 8 Below on vacation.
This guy comes back
in
from
upstate New York.
He's in upstate
It
New York
was
in the Adirondack
crazy.
Mountain. He's like, I just met the dogs from 8 Below. I'm like, aren't those dogs
These
dead?
dogs
This
touch
movie's from 12
Paul
years.
Walker. They touch Paul Walker, so that means I touch Paul Walker.
That's all
That
right.
sounds real
right,
inappropriate.
That does. But also, I think
Yeah.
these dogs are dead now. I think you've been had.
No.
He met some like
No, there
toothless
was
fucking
puppies.
hick up
They
in the
could've been
hills.
like
It could have been the
year-old.
puppies. Look.
Yeah, but they weren't.
Malamutes are like huge. At like
Here's the
I
thing,
know.
bro.
Honestly,
Carry
they
it
could
for the
still be
rest of your
alive.
life.
Yeah.
It's yours.
But did they?
Real or
he-
not,
He couldn't prove
doesn't
it or
matter.
disprove
And,
it.
and
so.
what you said they were kind of older though, right?
Oh, they were.
So they could have been the dogs.
They had like an old, like
Yeah.
taking their time, slowly moseying around.
Yeah.
But they were huge.
'Cause that
one
movie's
of them
from
was
12 years
huge.
ago.
The other one was a little bit smaller than the
Yeah, Malamutes are pretty.
comparably.
They're big. They're bigger than
Yeah.
huskies usually.
Yeah, this thing was like super big. Anyway, I said that was funny.
That was cool. Also, you're
Random.
running on an hour of sleep because you just got back. You drove all the way back. Got in at 4 a.m.
What a committed
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah,
You're so committed.
I was like, I gotta get back for the podcast.
I'm glad you
Honestly,
treat this as
I
like
was
an
like,
important.
I
thing.
was almost like this close to be like, dude, nah. I'm just gonna stay up here until I drive back on Sunday or something.
You should have just called
But then
and
I
just
texted
stayed
you.
here, and
Then I
had a
texted you. I
bed.
said,
Well,
"Are
I
you
was
back
already
in town?"
on the
You're
way,
like,
but
"Damn it."
I thought we were gonna head back, but then we ended up stopping in upstate New York at this guy's place, and then we were there for like 4 hours.
You should have just called me and said, hey, Diego, can I just crash there? Because you could have just come and stayed right in that bed. Right in that bed.
Oh,
right
just
there.
come straight here?
Yeah, and then
Well, I left so when I left, I didn't have my car at my house. It was at a friend's house. So then
Gotcha.
I had to go to the friend's house, take all my stuff out of that vehicle that I drove down in, put it in my vehicle, and then drive all the way home and then unload everything. And it was like a lot of running around.
Jesus.
So technically, I didn't really get home until like 5:30.
Jesus. Well, that's great, man.
wow.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah.
What are we talking
So
about today?
let's wake Neil up with the subject.
got
So
my
we're talking
coffee.
about tentpole films and we're talking about independent films.
Yeah, so tentpoles versus indie films.
Indie.
Correct.
Yeah. Let's just clarify.
explain
Yeah,
what
what is a
tentpole is.
tentpole, right? A lot of people will refer this as a franchise.
Well, you go
film.
camping, you
Yeah, it's
Under the starlight.
I mean, there's a few different ways. I mean, tentpole is basically it's the idea of a film. A tentpole film is a film, or tentpole movie is a movie.
what are you saying? I heard film like 7 times. A tentpole film
It's
is
a really
film.
bad term. I honestly, it's not that I don't understand it. I just,
I'm wondering if you're gonna be done and just let me fucking
is it-
explain it. I said a tentpole film or a tentpole movie. Like it depends.
No, you
what
said film,
call-
film. You said film.
No, I said tentpole
No, you
film
said
or
film.
tentpole movie. I didn't.
You said- I'm glad we can
wasn't
rewind this
listening
later.
to
No, I
I'm
said
tired.
tentpole film is a film that, and I said, or a tentpole movie is a movie that, because I'm saying like we're trying to, the reason why we're titling this podcast tentpole movie versus indie film is that we're considering that, okay, a tentpole movie is a movie. And we're going to call an indie film a film because film kind of connotes more of
Correct,
an
yeah.
artistic vision.
independent film.
Exactly,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. So we're trying to do that. So that's why I'm saying these. I'm trying to beat these, words in.
Yeah.
Like if we raised our own money and did not have a distributor,
Yeah.
and we made a film, it would be an indie film.
Indie film,
Indie
exactly.
film, yeah,
and
correct.
a tentpole movie is it's considered one that feeds the studio, right? So it's this big thing. It's not just this one-off. It's not even a blockbuster film. We're talking about something bigger than that has like merchandise tie-ins that could support possibly an overall franchise or overall universe. Mission
Spared
Impossible
no
might be,
expense.
Mission Impossible would probably be considered a tentpole. Basically, your best example is these Marvel films. Spare no expense. Yeah. So
John Hammond.
Yeah, John Hammond. So yeah, even the Jurassic World movies would probably be considered tentpole films,
Yeah.
tentpole movies.
Oh,
100%,
definitely, definitely.
Yeah. So we want to just kind of go over like the comparison between these two things and just describe and talk about what's kind of going on here, because we've talked about the theater model kind of going out.
Yeah.
And
It's weird. I mean, I feel like a lot of like it's very similar to the music industry right now. You have you turn on the radio and you go to like some sort of source of mainstream type music, and you're going to get bombarded with this like similar genre. But then if you actually go and like dig, you're going to find all these incredible bands in every other genre that just aren't, being pushed.
Yeah, there's
or
no promotion. It's all promotion.
There's no promotion, but there's like access to so much more music than ever before, but we're not hearing it. You turn on the radio, you're never going to hear it. You have to go find it.
Right.
Same thing with films. Like there's all these independent films that are like coming out, and they're like, some of them don't end up in theaters. Some of them are like straight to Netflix, straight to Hulu, straight to Amazon, whatever. Or even like, they're just independent. They never had a studio. You have to go to the website or something and download, pay them like $5
things.
for.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever heard?
This is the world we live in.
Have you heard of
very interesting.
addressable advertisement?
No.
So addressable advertisements, when they know that there's an address for this type of advertisement, which let's say it would be you, so they send you that advertisement. It's like when you go to Amazon, you buy something.
Yeah, they track you.
Suddenly that thing's all over ads. For that
you
thing.
you search for reusable dildos, or for instance, or reusable condoms, and then next time you're on Amazon, all you're getting promoted, or Facebook even.
Reusable condoms.
Yeah, you never heard of reusable condoms?
No, is that a thing?
No, it is now though.
Oh.
You should absolutely start marketing.
Okay, you
Get
just
to the movies.
I was like,
presents
did I miss
reusable
something?
condoms. A sure way to get her pregnant.
Okay, you go search for that.
I like how I said reusable dildo, like dildos are disposable. We'll do disposable dildos and reusable condoms. There you go. One and
they
done.
have to, flip over to the. It's like the plastic straws. They got to get rid of the plastic dildos.
I know whales are just choking on plastic
So let me-
dildos.
Turtles
Yeah,
are
see?
choking on them. What is happening right now?
Yeah. Let me go back to addressable advertisement.
Yeah.
So addressable advertisement.
But that's what you're talking
is-
about. When
Yeah.
it starts market, like it tracks you, and then
Correct.
it starts to
So-
Google ads and all that.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you can see that style happening in, like I don't know.
I just got a paper dildo in my head. Anyway.
Do
Sorry.
you?
A paper dildo.
I'm watching.
Yeah,
I'm
it's,
watching Shameless in
biodegradable.
my head right
Yeah,
now.
we should
I'm
have
watching
an Etsy, set up
Shameless
an
in my
Etsy
head right
shop.
now. Yeah. You know.
Paper mache Etsy shop.
true.
I feel like
for,
sometimes
dildos.
our podcast becomes an episode of Shameless. Yeah,
It's
There you
true.
Good
It's
job.
true.
So, no, but what I was saying is, it seems like movies are going into that addressable advertisement era where they find the pocket of people that watch these type of films, and that's literally what you're fed.
Right.
That's literally what you. And then there's that other.
Well,
pocket.
definitely, even in Netflix, when you search, you watch something, then it goes, oh, let's suggest these ones. And now they're not doing star ratings on Netflix anymore. They do percentage matches.
Correct,
Right.
yeah.
So it says
yeah.
it goes. Yeah, they took. Remember the star ratings?
I
They don't do that
remember.
anymore. Which is even okay. This ties into.
I don't know if this is better or worse, but I would see like garbage films that were like 5 stars out of like 10,000
I hated
users, and I'm
those.
like,
It didn't make
Who are
sense.
these people?
Nobody ever really understood the star, or a great film would get like 3 stars. And you're like, I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah,
here.
it's very
But now they
confusing.
do a match based off what you've watched. So you
Right.
get, oh, this is an 87% match. This is a 95% match. And but this also ties into this idea that a lot of these indie films and smaller films are ending up on platforms like Netflix and Prime Video,
Correct, yeah.
and Hulu. But Netflix specifically never shares their numbers. Nobody knows. Except for probably a
Do we know
select
how many
few.
users there are? Or
Not
monthly, active
really.
monthly
It's
users?
something like
They have a number that they put out.
Yeah, sometimes they'll mention something. You get a little whiff, like 100 million, 150 million, or something like that monthly, which is a lot.
People that
To be
actually,
more
like,
accurate,
log
they
It's
in.
have
about like
a lot.
1.5, 2 billion, like a month income on just that alone. It's
But
kinda
this
crazy.
is like 150 million people like log in every month.
yeah,
to
or,
watch
or paying
Paid
paid
subscribers.
subscribers, paid subscribers.
Yeah, but a lot of people. I mean, I've gone like 2 months without.
Yeah, but you can.
Well,
like,
that doesn't
but how
matter.
many people
Pay.
have multiple profiles set up
Yeah,
on their Netflix?
I did pay, but I
But
didn't
how many
log in.
people have multiple profiles set up on the net? So you have even more than that. If you
That's
users
true.
are going to be different than paid subscribers.
That's true.
But also, so they never release their numbers. There's only a select few in-house people in Netflix that
Yeah.
even know the numbers of what does what. Now they have to have the data. They're a data company. Like there's no way this digital platform does
100%
not
have
know
data. Yeah, they
down
have
to
data.
the finite decimal point of viewers. They have to. But you don't know, so we don't know how many viewers or watches Stranger Things.
So
We
what
don't
do you
know.
guys think
We
about
have no
that?
idea, or any of these things. But what does
Probably
this mean
better.
for the creators? Yeah, it's interesting because it takes the pressure off the creator because the creators don't even know. If we made a movie right now and we got it onto Netflix, they would never tell us if it did good or did bad. Like how many
Do they
viewers
not
watched
know,
it.
or is
I don't
there?
know
No, Netflix
as a-
knows.
What I'm saying is that
100%.
for a person that does a film, because I actually was researching this last week. They actually have like classes to understand how to edit for Netflix and all this stuff.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's very interesting. It's very
Yeah, because
they're very
it's
specific.
different. It's different. Yeah.
Appeal to
As
that
a
user
creator
base.
and
Yeah.
giving them a content, is there a part in the contract where you can get that data? Because
I actually, I'll tell you why I know this. I was listening to a podcast episode the other day with David Wayne, who directed Wanderlust and all these kind of movies with like Paul Rudd. And
Yeah.
he did all the Wet Hot American Summer stuff. He's from the state,
Okay.
the sketch series from
Yeah.
the improv group from the 90s. Anyways, he did all the Wet Hot American Summer stuff, including the original one, the new reboots and TV shows, and he did the 2 different TV series recently for Netflix. And he said they do not release their numbers. So we as the creators don't even know. No creator knows how their stuff does, which takes the
Yeah.
pressure off you. You literally can get it on there. You don't have to go, oh my God, it was a bomb. Because that's what these people freak out when they get their movies in theaters. They sit there completely like up all night going, okay, I'm waiting for the figures to come in, kind of freaking out. And is it going to be a bomb? Because then that's going to ride with me the rest of my life. Or is it going to succeed?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to be great. But they just don't know. So it's like you just do it for the artistic vision at that point, which is kind of cool. If you think
I
about
like
You're
it.
just doing it for the art, putting it out there, and you don't know if it did well. 2 people watched it, or 2 million people watch it. You have no idea.
I like it.
It's
I like that
interesting.
idea.
It is, yeah. It takes the pressure, and they have so much content on Netflix. It's sort of like they're not worried about that. They're just trying to create content, put it out there because they know people want variety.
Netflix had stated in the article that they want to become TV.
Yeah,
They-
and that's how it's starting
yeah.
to feel because it has all different qualities. You see
Yeah.
a thing, it's a Netflix original. You can't go, oh, all Netflix originals are great. It's
Oh,
not-
I've
they're
seen
not
some
going for that.
I've seen some bad Netflix originals.
I've
Oh my
seen some
God.
bad Netflix originals. Also, yeah, I've seen it.
But then,
By the way,
ones.
they have tons of great. By the way, I love their new update to their platform. It makes it a lot easier for search and shit. I always hated that you had to go all the way back up.
Oh, it depends
Well-
what device you're watching it on too.
No,
'cause
no.
all of them are different.
Well,
Yeah.
now they changed it where there's a side. All you have to do is go to the side and things are right
all
there.
the devices I used to have to go on the top.
Yeah,
I don't
everything.
have that.
That's what I'm saying.
do
Every
you
device
use?
you had to go all the way to the top, except for some.
Are you
except
talking
for
about for PlayStation? Because all my devices still have it at the top. I use Apple TV. I use Xbox One. I use my smart TV has Netflix.
Yeah, you
my
have to
phone
scroll to the
has
top.
It. Scrolls to the top for every single.
Yeah, but now it's different. They changed their platform.
Not for me. I'm just saying.
Well,
it's
maybe you
still-
need to
still at the top.
update.
Maybe you need to eat a fucking dick. Jesus Christ! I'm trying to tell you. You're using PlayStation.
Go
You just
update.
talking about.
How do you know?
What do you mean
wasn't-
update?
It
It's
was
an
on
automatic
PlayStation.
update.
It was on
What is your
Roku. It was
fucking
in PlayStation.
problem?
It was on Roku.
Okay, it's Roku. I don't
Why
have
are you
Roku.
yelling?
Roku's a
Why is he
different
so
platform.
sensitive
What?
right now?
Oh my God! I'm fucking drinking coffee. I never drink coffee, by the way.
Oh yeah, what is happening?
think he's-
You're
No.
like a tea guy.
I am a tea guy. I don't know. I said coconut black
Maybe
tie.
this is
It's
part of your
It's
breakdown.
from Pete's. It's coconut black tie iced coffee, and I was like, I'll have that, please.
That should get you.
They got me with the 3 words, my
That's
3
a
favorite
lot of
words:
caffeine,
coconut,
dude.
black, and Thai. I was like, I'm down.
Maybe
It's
this
a
is
lot.
part of the
if you're not
breakdown.
used to like high caffeine like me and Tego, like should make you crazy.
It's actually not really true because the tea is highly caffeinated.
This is part of the breakdown.
I like how you say this like I'm not gonna be able to handle this. First off, I was a coffee drinker.
dude, your arm just fell off.
All right, so on Netflix, I think that's interesting though that they don't release these numbers. So that right there makes it kind of more for an artist, right?
Yeah.
Some of their stuff is great, some of it is bad. They just did this thing where
But
they
like,
brought this.
well, hold on, just as a the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Like, fucking look at Solo. Solo
Yeah.
would be considered part of a tentpole film series, and people were like, "It's a bomb. It's failed," and I'm like, "This shit made $500 million. Like,
know,
what
what are
the
you
fuck are you
talking
talking about?" Like,
it
unless
was a
they
good
spent like
movie.
$900 million making it, which I fucking doubt.
Yeah.
Like, it
Highly
made money.
doubt. Yeah.
It just didn't make as much money as the earlier films, so everybody was shitting on it, saying it was a
It's
failure.
Tentpole films are a guarantee that we're gonna make at least this much money off of it, and after that,
Basically, it's,
It's
like
so
a shoe.
weird.
It's a shoe in.
yeah.
It's an established
exactly.
universe.
They can say that, hey, we'll make, just as a random number, we'll make $3 million back from this film. Definitely low
Well, like
number, but I'm
Fast
just
and
saying,
Furious,
yeah,
Transformers,
Exactly,
You know,
yeah.
Yeah, those are all
these type of
tentpoles.
films.
Yeah, because
but,
of-
But
yeah.
Mad Max Fury Road probably wouldn't be considered a tentpole.
That's a weird movie.
It's a
because it's
blockbuster.
really an indie film.
so
It's like an
good.
indie director, an indie crew, an indie
Yeah.
location.
It's a $150
Everything
million
is like-
movie though.
But like they They basically took like an indie situation and then threw a bunch of money at it. Like I would consider fucking Peter Jackson, who was tapped to do Fellowship of the Ring and the Lord of the Rings trilogy as an indie director at the time.
He was.
Who then was given like $200 million to make these 3 films.
True. Yeah.
Or was it $200 million or 150?
It was a lot. Yeah. It was
Whatever
a lot,
it was,
but not for 3 films.
It wasn't enough for 3, and then by like the second or third, they were like, "Yeah, here you go. Here's another $100 million
because
or
it's all
whatever."
Yeah. I mean, I considered like Tentpole films. The studio heads say, "Yes, we will make this. We're guaranteed to make this much money back from it. So let's.
Usually, I think
we can invest
$1
this
billion
much.
is usually the mark. I think they go for.
I have no crazy
I don't think it's
that's
just
the
box
world we
office
live
though.
in.
I think that's the demarcation for a tentpole. Is
But,
they're like they know they're gonna make $1 billion between merchandise, box office, home video release, streaming, all that stuff. I
So
believe
it's not just box
Yeah,
office.
I
I
don't
don't
know the
think
number.
it's just box
no,
office.
it's just profit.
No,
It's
usually,
profit.
but a lot of them.
But like, how do we live in this
I don't know, it's
world where
$1 billion
like
profit.
everyone's saying it's like the basically like the theater experience is dead and like theaters aren't having as much people come and all this, and then you see like literally movie after movie after movie
Making so
like
much
1.2, but how much did fucking Infinity War make? Over $2 billion. Like
don't
it almost
understand what's going
it
on.
surpassed
1.5
Avatar or
billion.
something.
Oh,
did
did
it?
it?
I don't know.
I don't think it did. I don't think it did,
remember
but
reading
yeah.
it was like only a few $100 million from surpassing
ridiculous.
Avatar.
But
And
it's
I was
funny
like,
how
that movie, that piece of garbage.
It's funny how those
sorry.
shows.
It's
you enjoyed
entertaining.
it, but you're just saying you don't.
It's no
not better
Titan
than,
or it's no Avatar.
Yeah. Actually,
Infinity
I like Fallout.
War?
I like. That's true. I actually like Fallout
Huh?
more than I like Infinity War.
Yeah,
I'll
do you
say
think
it's no
it-
Avatar?
You think it was better than Avatar?
I don't know.
Oh,
That's
Avatar's better.
That's
Come
hard
on.
for me to
Avatar's
say.
better than Infinity War, but also Deadpool 2
I
was
don't
better.
compare-
Deadpool 2 is better than Infinity War.
I
I'll
wouldn't
tell you
compare
that.
the two.
Yeah,
I don't compare.
do
I
think-
wouldn't
yeah,
compare.
I would
enjoyed it
say
more.
I wouldn't compare
enjoyed-
Deadpool and Infinity War.
You didn't see Deadpool 2.
No, I have not.
So why did you eat a dick?
Because I would. They're too. You. What is
It-
up with you eating dicks?
Deadpool 2, I enjoyed more than
Did you?
Infinity War. But then again,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's just an
Infinity
more
War is like
entertaining
part
movie.
1. It's not even a whole fucking movie.
But Deadpool
But it
2
sounds
was also
fine.
just,
But I'm not. I
Deadpool 2
wouldn't
was
compare the
just
two.
so
That's all I'm saying.
entertaining. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Deadpool 2 was
Deadpool
like
2 Deadpool 2 starts and then ends.
Yeah.
And like I'm not expecting a sequel. I'm done with it.
Right.
But like Infinity War, I feel like I never finished
mean?
it and they
And
stole
Dead-
my money and I'm
Wait.
about to pay them again
Wait,
just to
wait,
see the second half.
Wait,
they
wait.
stole your money that you voluntarily gave them.
Ah!
You just said.
I'm like, this
You just said
fucking
Deadpool
Infinity
2.
War 2 shit.
You just
better
said
be
Deadpool
goddamn
2.
good. Did I say that?
Yeah,
You said
I don't know.
Deadpool 2 started and ended, and I'm not expecting the sequel. It was a sequel.
Yeah, like it
But it was a
But it was a
sequel.
contained story.
It was a sequel.
I
I'm
get
just
it. It was
saying
a
it's
one movie.
contained
Yeah, it's
story.
one
Exactly,
whole
yeah.
movie. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
like,
yeah. It's not like Fellowship of the Rings,
Yeah, like if I had
Fellowship of the
seen
Ring.
it's, I'm not shitting on that at all. Like the part 1 and part 2, I think it's fine. But yeah, no.
You just weren't.
The fact that it made $2 billion, and I guarantee you, the sequel, if it's even half as good as the first one, which it probably will be, it's probably going to make over $2 billion.
Yeah.
Because it's the finale or whatever.
Yeah, part of me likes this idea that like Ryan Reynolds is saying he doesn't know if there's going to be Deadpool 3, and part of me goes, don't do it. I love those first 2 films so much, and I think that second one was so good. I don't want it. I just
Studio
get out while
pressure, man.
Yeah, but he's like, get out while the going's good, man. Like just go out on top. That's very Deadpool.
It's true
kind of way
because
to
they
go.
could easily fuck that
fucking
up.
eat a shit sandwich on this next one.
I mean, they could be super
Yeah,
creative
they can fire the
like
director for saying some stupid shit.
they already fired the director. Well, they didn't fire. They parted ways with the first director, Tim Miller, and they ended up with the second. And it didn't make it any worse. Like it's like the writers and the actors and this like the whole kind of creative team behind it. It goes beyond the director at this point for these Deadpool movies.
Well, it's because I feel like, in a weird way, like there's so much CG in film now that like the CG studios are like kind of the directors now to a degree. Like you have the director obviously, but the CG dictates a lot of the way the film is shot, how it cut, how it's edited, all this kind of shit. And that's all up to the special effects guys.
Yeah,
Those
but
guys are making like some more major calls than the directors.
Yeah, Deadpool
nowadays.
feels like what's made the Deadpool movies really work is the writers, like the writing on it. Like this second film was way better writing than even the first one. The first one had some
Which is
one-liners
crazy.
that the second one
For
was
a
like
film
some of
this
the
clever.
some of the tie-ins and the throwbacks and the call and the payoffs and all that stuff writing-wise was all tied in and it just like perfectly elevated. I was surprised.
Do you remember the big leagues?
Green Lantern, yeah. But so
good.
like that's the writing, and then it's just Ryan Reynolds' performance. Like he's just
Oh,
so
yeah,
good.
he's
Like
a
he
key.
performs through a mask pretty much the entire movie.
It's basically Van Wilder, the
but
the
so
comic
much
girl
better.
or whatever.
Like even his dramatic chops though in those movies. Like in the second one,
Oh, yeah.
like it's like he's He's solid, man. He's solid.
And
That
it didn't
helps.
feel jarring.
Nope.
It transitioned like perfectly.
Yeah,
It was
and you
like,
felt
oh,
it,
like,
too.
yeah, you're like, I actually give a shit, but then
Yeah.
it's also hilarious.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
then it's like slapstick.
All right, so now independent films.
Okay, but real quick. So
Oh.
on Netflix,
Yeah.
Andy Serkis's Mowgli, which is like another Jungle Book.
Which apparently is like much darker than the
other
Jungle Book
one.
live
Have you
action
seen the cast
film.
on it?
Yeah,
It looks amazing.
Yeah.
Because if you
Well,
look at
Disney didn't even want to release it. Isn't that why it's going to
it's
Netflix?
not just Warner Brothers. No,
Warner
I don't know that they didn't want to release it, but Netflix just basically they did this before. I don't remember what the other movie was. They just scooped in and snatched it up and just basically paid Warner Brothers to buy it off of them, and now they're distributing it through Netflix.
Yeah.
And they did the Jungle Book live action film a couple years ago.
Correct.
And that was a
was more than a
remake
couple
of the
years
cartoon.
ago.
It was like 2 years ago.
Oh, I thought they did actually make one.
Oh, the
that
one with
was-
Jason Scott Lee in the 90s?
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
good.
that
No,
one.
but they did the Jungle Book one a couple years ago. That was a remake of the Disney movie.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
it.
Now,
with you.
that's right. And you were kind of
Bare
like,
Necessities with Bill Murray.
That was great. I liked it a lot, though. And it had a big,
I
huge
was
cast,
thoroughly
too.
entertained.
Yeah. I thought the
Um,
CG on the animals was actually really good. You only had like one human, which is that one little kid, and he did a great job.
He was great. Yeah.
Oh, no, it was perfect.
I
It
really
was
liked
really
it.
done
It was
well.
John
now-
Favreau.
John Favreau, yeah, who's doing The Lion King now, so it makes sense he would
Yeah.
go from that to Lion King. But now they've got this Mowgli one, which is apparently a lot darker. It's not a remake of the Disney cartoon, so it's kind of like it's still
based
the
on the
story.
book. It's based on the book that the Disney
right,
cartoon.
but
is
it
based
still
on.
seems if you look at it, you're like, oh, this is still one kid. Mowgli, he's like about the same age, and he's with the same animals, and they're talking.
Yeah.
So it's all very similar in that way, but it's different. It
Is
seems
it
like it's-
CG animals?
yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
it's motion capture though, because it's Andy Serkis, and he's directing it, and this is the king of motion capture.
Yeah.
So it's different because they didn't do motion capture with the other ones that I remember. I don't think they did. I think it was all just kind of like
Oh, not with people.
no, but this one they're doing motion capture with people for the animals. I don't know. I'm really interested to see it, but yeah, they scooped it up. Netflix
I don't know.
scooped
He
it
did.
up.
He was second. He was assistant director
The
on
Hobbit?
the
Oh, come
Hobbit
on.
film. So
All right.
Oh my gosh, you can't blame it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I like it.
No, I'm excited to see it.
I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I feel like I have to be cautiously optimistic about everything now.
I know we were just talking about this Venom. We're
Okay,
really
that's-
cautiously
Yeah.
optimistic about Venom because I really the concept of a Venom film and Tom Hardy playing Venom, I was like, oh my god, yes. But I have not been sold on these trailers yet. There's something seems very kind of cookie cutter about them. So the dialogue seems kind of off.
They're not showing the rated R.
Some of the
part
action
film.
scenes doesn't.
is it
don't-
going to be rated R?
Yeah, it's rated R. And some of the action scenes just don't really sell me. They seem kind of very choreographed. They don't seem, and it just seems off. Like the trailers have not captured what I feel like. I'm hoping the movie's way better than the trailers. Basically,
Is there a Red Band?
I have
trailer?
no. I have
haven't seen
nothing
one
to
yet.
I haven't seen
associate Venom with. I mean, there's no. To me, there's no like prior film that
Topher
was
Grace.
great. There's no.
Topher
If it's
Grace.
better than Topher fucking Grace, it's like, oh, we've already won. So
It's true.
Well, that'd be a difficult road.
Yeah, exactly. So
Topher Grace wasn't like.
no,
that
he's a
awful.
fine actor, but like it also didn't fit. Like Venom's a very cool character, and they just kind of underdid it with the Topher Grace.
Symbiote.
The problem was
He's
that-
alright.
No, if you've read the comics back in the day, it's a very fucking cool character. It's really there's actually a short film. You can watch it on YouTube. God, what's it called? And it's basically a black and white film, and it's this French crew that comes
Oh, I
in
know
to
what
this
you're
little
talking about.
documentary, and they're following Eddie Brock, who's a journalist for the Daily Bugle, which is Eddie Brock is a photographer or whatever, or
Yeah.
a journalist, and it follows him, and it's like hints at like this Venom fucking thing going on. It's really interesting, and it's a short. It's the guy who plays Eddie Brock is he was in True Blood. He was the blonde haired guy with the great bod.
Is the brother of the guy that played it?
I don't know his name.
No,
Like-
not
like the
Skarsgård. No,
Swedish-
not yeah,
Skarsgård?
yeah,
Oh,
no. That
That
is
came
also
out a
blonde
while
guy.
back, didn't it?
Yeah, it's from here. I'm gonna.
I
say,
remember-
I'll
I
say
remember-
exactly who it is.
So many
Vaguely.
blonde guys.
No, he's the
on
guy who was
True
doing
Blood.
the he wasn't a vampire, but he was drinking the blood that got him all high and was like having great sex. God, I'm not describing this very well.
Yeah.
No, it sounds familiar, but I feel
Ryan-
like that was the whole cast.
This
Is what
yeah,
you
yeah.
just
No,
described
the
right
rest
now.
are like vampires. The guy.
Oh, that guy.
this
Yeah,
guy.
Australian dude.
Is he Australian? He is Australian. Yeah,
I've seen him in a bunch of other movies.
Yeah, so the movie, the short film, I'll tell you, it's probably right here. It was
I don't
called, know. No, it's called.
I mean, it's cool, dude. It's just more Marvel, man. Even though
Venom:
it's-
Truth in Journalism.
all right.
But it's like
Dude.
really just like it almost looks like Clerks. Like it's totally black and white.
If somebody comes to me and they tell me about a character from another comic book and they're making a live action movie about it, I'm like, okay, again.
No, but this is not like that. This is it says a documentary crew from France comes to America to capture the daily life of journalist Eddie Brock. Soon the truth about Eddie as well as his questionable methods begin to reveal more than intended. And it's like this it's very understated. It's not like it's just a little short film that these guys did that kind of like hints at this Venom fucking character. It's really
I'll check it out. Check it out. I like these little short films.
Yeah,
like
it's only 17 minutes.
Yeah,
17
like
minute short film.
Tom Jane did the Dirty
Oh
Laundry
my
one.
god,
which is
that
really
Dirty
cool.
Laundry Punisher one.
Yeah.
That was up until they did this new Netflix Punisher. I was like, it was the best incarnation of the Punisher was that little short film.
Yeah,
Dirty Laundry.
but you don't play play video games, but you've played Uncharted, right?
Man, I got a life.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Did you see the Nathan Fillion Uncharted film, like short film that he did? Nathan Fillion,
Oh, yeah.
who like Nathan
Exactly.
Drake.
Fire.
All right, so Nathan Fillion is an actor. Nathan Drake is a fictional character in this
Firefly?
video game Uncharted.
Oh, okay.
And it's a huge success. There's like
Yeah.
4 of them on PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4. There's 4 like games in the series, or
Yeah.
5 or 6 or some shit. And like literally the character Nathan Drake in the Uncharted series looks exactly like Nathan Fillion, but like there's no association. Like the artist literally modeled the character and the humor
Like
after,
Aladdin being modeled after Tom Cruise.
Yeah, it's basically they took the character from Firefly that Nathan Fillion played and then made him an Indiana Jones character.
There is talks
so
on
funny.
doing the film.
Well, so Nathan Fillion was like a big fan of the game series, and he came across like he met some director, some independent director, and they like got together over dinner or whatever. And he was like, "Yeah, I want to make like an Uncharted short film, a 10-minute film or whatever. You get to be Nathan Drake." And it's fantastic. It's like really, really good. There's a lot of like fight sequences and like, you know, a little bit of like special effects here and there, but it's like, and Nathan Fillion embodies like that humor and everything of the character.
So do you know?
It's really fun. But if you've played any of the Uncharted games, he's very charismatic, Indiana Jones,
Jonesy.
like funny.
Yeah.
You know,
So check this out. So
always
the
cracking jokes, even though he's about to
Uncharted,
die, type shit.
Drake's Fortune. Guess who's on it? Tom Holland and Brian Castron.
But is that like, are they
No, it's-
actually doing a film?
They're talking about
I
doing
feel
a
like
film.
it's
like a
been
real
in
one.
like development for like, you
Yeah.
know.
No,
since
they're
the
talking about
beginning.
because it's
So the question is, would that be a tentpole?
it.
I don't know. It's popular enough to be a tentpole.
I mean,
but if you
Tomb
were to
Raider,
go,
I guess. Tomb Raider has
Yeah.
like 3 films.
yeah, but I don't.
And they're
I,
so
that could be
far apart.
I guess you know.
I don't
mean,
know.
I don't know.
That was weird
I
that
think-
they
I-
made the
yeah.
Tomb Raider films. I mean, I enjoyed them, but
But
like,
that was during that time period in the early 2000s where these films were devoid of soul almost, and it was just very much the CG started to bust out after like the prequels of Star Wars and the re-releases and everything, and even major people like went
dude, that was Angelina
nuts.
Jolie. This is
I
an
know.
Oscar winner.
I don't think
No,
they're
she wasn't an
tentpole
Oscar
film.
winner
I don't
yet
think they're
at that
tentpole
point,
films.
but
No, she won for Girl Interrupted.
was that before then though?
Yeah.
That was
Okay,
before
maybe
that.
you're right.
It's like
I don't think they're
2000
tempo
or something.
films at all.
2001, I think the
99,
first one came
2000.
out.
Because there's no
You're right.
guaranteeing them.
But the Tomb Raider films,
There's no guaranteeing Tomb Raider films.
they
There's
were
no guaranteeing
blockbuster
this.
films, but tentpole. I don't know that they would be considered.
I don't think I wouldn't
tentpoles.
consider them tempo because
Yeah.
there's no guaranteeing them.
Yeah.
The only guarantee you have is the fact that this was
Yeah,
a
'cause the
very
newest Tomb
popular
Raider, I don't know
game.
how well it did.
But you don't. But
Yeah, that's true.
you can't say
But Star Wars is like guaranteed.
you can't. But you can't say the
Well,
popular
people
game is going
said
to
that
transition to
Solo's a
popular film.
failure.
Yeah, I guess.
Is that a
But
guarantee? I don't know.
know.
Do
You
you
know,
guys
I-
think it was a failure?
I think Solo is a tentpole film.
I think they wanted
It
to
is.
make
because
more.
it's
It is,
on the
definitely.
franchise.
But also look at it this way: failure is
What if
defined
Boba Fett comes
often-
out and it makes like 400 million? They're going to be like, "Oh, the
Yeah,
world's ending."
But failure is defined, at least in the media, as didn't make as much as it was expected, which is not a failure.
Dude,
you
it's
know what
insane.
I mean? If you profit
they were
from
calling
a fucking
the
movie,
Tom Cruise Mummy film a failure. That film made like $1.2 billion.
it didn't make that much. I guarantee it.
It
You
made
make
a
up
lot
these
of film.
figures sometimes, just throw them out. It made like
Oh,
$17 trillion.
All right, hold on. Let's keep talking because I'm going to
All right,
find
good.
out.
Yeah, because
I'm pretty sure it was like a fuck ton
Well,
of
first off,
money.
he's like the only international star that you could basically bank on him
Yeah.
from opening all these different territories just by his name alone. America is no longer star driven, but international box office can be. But he's like the only one doing it.
yeah.
You know, he can open in fucking like 100 different territories as number one just on his name alone.
You go open in the fucking woods and people will be like, "Oh my
Seriously,
gosh, there'll be
I
a
know.
guaranteed film."
Dude, you got it. You still haven't seen Fallout, Diego. You got to see it.
No, I'm gonna see it.
But yeah.
Oh no, I was way off.
Oh, I
Where
know
did I
you're
get
way
my-
off. That's what
where
I'm
did I
trying to
get my
say.
information?
I don't know. But how much did it make?
I think it's the 1 hour sleep.
It so whatever. It costs like 125 million to make. It made worldwide. It made 410 million.
Yeah. Okay. So That would still
isn't
be
bad for not
but,
a great
but,
movie.
Yeah, part of the problem is like they usually end up spending 250 million on promotion and marketing alone. Like
I'm sure they spent a fuck ton.
250 million in promotion.
Often they'll double the fucking production budget on just promotion. Whatever the amount they do, it's astronomical how much they're making. When you see a production budget, you have to then double that usually to make.
Correct, yeah, and that's what makes it a Tentpole
wow.
and makes it a guaranteed film.
Yeah,
when they know it's going to hit
Solo.
this marker, at least hit this marker.
Yeah.
Solo made worldwide. It made 390 million.
Right, and that's
Less
a
than
Star
the
Wars, and this
less
is
than the
Han
Mummy fucking
Solo.
movie. And this movie's
But
way
you know the
better
cool
than
But
the
did
Mummy.
Rogue One make more than Solo? Because Rogue One shouldn't have been a guaranteed thing. Solo should have been more of a guarantee than Rogue One, because Rogue One was its own original
Which
story.
is so funny
whereas
because
Solo was talking about a character that everybody loves.
But Rogue One was like, apparently the movie was like fucking garbage, and then like
it wasn't garbage, but there was
someone came
Gareth
in and like
Edwards
altered the
Tony,
film.
Tony Gilroy came in, like, saved the day.
Yeah, he like saved the film. Apparently, it was like not screening well. The way the story flowed, like they even
Major
did
reshoots
major
and
reshoots
third
on that
acts.
fucking movie that changed like the whole flow of the film.
So crazy.
I think originally maybe it was more kid friendly, and then they were like, we gotta go dark because
Maybe.
it's the only way to make this good or something.
I think they lived at the end in one of the incarnations.
Probably.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. Is like
Rogue-
that story would have become a lot bigger if that movie had failed. If that movie was garbage, people were like, "Oh, well, that's because there was all these problems."
Yeah.
You know, like Solo. If Solo ended up being great, we would have forgotten about all those troubles that it had replacing
Yeah.
directors.
You're not saying that
Dude,
that's what
how
makes
much
it a Tentpole film or not. That's
Oh my god.
I mean, those films are
What were you gonna say, Neil?
Tentpole films.
It's like $1.5 billion
For Rogue One?
worldwide, yeah.
I believe that. Yeah. That's word of mouth, man.
I'm sorry, no,
word of
1.0, like one, like
1
1
million,
billion,
1.05,
basically
like,
a billion,
yeah.
50 million. whatever.
There was a momentum to that film.
Not 1.5 billion.
There was a huge momentum. It was it was a breakout from the.
I remember seeing
Star-
in theaters
Star
Word
and
of
Story.
mouth,
not
though.
being that impressed.
Oh, I was. I remember seeing it in theaters.
I was
yes,
like,
yes.
I actually fell asleep. in the
But then you
theaters.
saw it again and you thought it was really good.
I
right?
watched it again like 6 months later. I think whatever showed up on Netflix or something. I watched it again and I was like, oh, that movie's
You know what
awesome.
sold-
Like,
you
why
know what
did I
sold
not
me in
like
the
this
State
trailer?
of
when I saw
mind is
it?
an interesting thing. You
But
can
I
just
thought
not be
the
in the
theater
mood.
experience would like make it better, and it made it. Maybe it was just shitty people in the theater where I saw it out in L.A.
You know what sold
Really?
me?
Man, fuck LA.
You know what sold me in the trailer?
Talking to you, LA
LA
guys.
There has never-
I got LA
There was
friends,
never
it's all right.
there was
listening to
never a
this
trailer.
podcast.
There was never a Star Wars with
LA guys are listening to this
Star
podcast.
with a beach scene.
Yeah,
There was
Right.
never a Star Wars with that beach scene.
that was pretty cool.
And
that
it
whole
looked
end sequence
so
was
Yeah,
fucking
that was a
unique.
great ending. But that movie,
I
it
should
would-
have expected it, but I didn't, and I was like, although I will say the way they handle it, like
I thought
this
that
is a
was-
spoiler, like
yeah.
everyone's dead, but then when they cut to Vader, like you're
Oh.
almost like uplifted just by seeing that
That
scene.
is the greatest Vader
It's like
scene.
sad that everyone's dead, but then you're like, oh shit, Vader shows up, like, and he's fucking destroying.
bad at
Yeah.
that
It's like
Vader
badass.
scene in that hallway
Like
is
the
the
best-
greatest Vader scene ever
Yeah,
done.
out of all of them.
Yes, and
Yeah.
that was like
so good.
So there was so much great shit like that, and if that movie was carried on word of mouth.
Yeah.
Now Solo got killed at word of mouth instantly, so it probably would have made 3 times as much.
No,
but
there
as
were a
soon
lot
as
of
somebody-
positive, like
There was a lot of
people-
negative stuff. It was mixed reviews on Solo. If you
Really?
look up Rotten Tomato score or whatever, but it was mixed reviews.
No, there
Fucking-
was.
I wish Rotten Tomatoes didn't exist.
I know.
We should have a whole fucking episode.
We
about
should
that.
do a
This
Rotten
is driving
Tomatoes
me
episode because
bananas.
We should say they're rotten.
Because
Yeah.
I don't
It's
like
weird.
the idea that they have the power to like make or break a film. I want the audience should have that ability.
because we've never agreed that critics
I mean,
are
if
the be all end all. There's individual opinions.
what happened to the good old days where you
Yeah,
walked
it's
into,
not-
you paid
yeah.
to see a movie and it was garbage.
Yeah.
but you
see,
didn't
that's the
know.
thing.
Like
It's-
it was the mystery of
miss-
like I don't
didn't
know
know
if
a
it's gonna
movie
be good or
even was
bad.
out until I pulled out a fucking newspaper on the corner. I go to the corner deli, wouldn't buy the newspaper. I'd grab a fucking newspaper. I'd flip to the movie section
Yeah.
and I'd find it was a local New York paper. So I'd find
Now it's
what,
like-
where what was playing in each of the theaters. Be like, that looks good because of the name. You know, Iron
like-
Will. Okay, I'll go see that.
I will say, like, going back to the tentpole versus independent films, like with these fucking franchise films, these tentpole films, people are like basically reviewing the movie on the trailer months before, 6 months to 8 months before it ever comes out. And I'm
But
like,
if you really think
it's
about
so
it,
insane.
it's not.
Well, they're reviewing it like a week.
I
and
take
the
my
trailer
statement
can
back.
like determine whether it's
Yeah.
successful or a failure. Like the hype train,
Yeah.
either
The trailer,
explodes
yes.
or it like collapses.
know.
But
It-
tra-
but then
the
they're doing
trailer, yes,
trailers
but you
for
can't blame it
trailers.
on.
Yeah.
But you can't truly blame it on Rotten Tomato because they're it's the viewers that are making comments. I know they have the
Blame it on the
critics,
internet.
but it's the
Fuck you,
too
internet.
Well, yeah,
fucking- it's
sometimes
just-
it is reverse, like where the users like
the-
gave it
it's-
like an 8.0 or whatever their
No,
rating is.
it's
and
just
then-
conversation. Somebody goes viral with a statement,
Yeah.
And it can fuck somebody's project up. It's not. I don't think it's. I can't blame a platform for what people do. So I don't think it's Rotten Tomato.
Well, no, but people won't see it in the future. Like people might go who've never seen Solo, go on Rotten Tomatoes and read like 1 or 2 negative reviews and be like, well, I'm not going to waste my time on that.
But that's because somebody wrote that. It's
no,
not
I know, but
Rotten
then
Tomato.
my thing is it's not that it basically sets like a tone for that film forever. As long as it exists. Like I know people that rely on that as a source of should they ever watch a movie. I'll say this movie, I'll recommend a movie and I'll say, like, you should go see this movie. It's really good. Like, you would really like it because I've seen it and I know that person. And then they'll go on Rotten Tomatoes and be like, dude, it got like 6 on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm not gonna watch that shit. And I'm like, or it's got a 5.7. And I'm like,
Or
who gives
0.
a fuck? Just fucking what? Like, I said it was good. Go watch it, motherfucker. But like that kind of shit pisses me off. I'm like, they like it's
manipulation.
The word of God.
It's actually manipulation, and none of us are impervious to it. If you hear something bad, even if you go like, you ever heard like something bad about somebody?
I'm impervious to it.
No, you're not fucking impervious. You think you are. You're not 100%. I guarantee nobody is. No. Here's how it goes.
Prove it.
If somebody says something that may have a little bit of merit to it, shitty about a friend of yours or something else, you may defend them. You may like, they're fucking full of shit. I'll never believe that, all that. But in the back of your mind, the shit's going to be a little seed, and it may not grow.
There's always moving. It's all moving, but I know how to ignore that.
No, I know. You know how to ignore it.
It's
But the
like
fact that
some
you have to use an action to do something. You need to actually work on ignoring it. You can't just, it's not just not there. It's there now. And it's going to be in the back. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to completely affect you. I'm just saying it's impossible to be 100% impervious to an idea because ideas grow, or ideas are at least little seedlings.
There's always
a little bit of real estate in your mind. Real estate there.
Yeah, there's always a seed planted.
That's all I'm
I know
saying.
how to take that away. And when I watch a film,
yes,
and this is, you're right.
I work on it, but
you have to work on.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You have to work on it. And if it wasn't there, you wouldn't have to work on it.
What was the other film that like
Nick brought it?
Infinity
Nick
Wars.
brought it
Yeah.
back.
Infinity Wars. I did not go online. I didn't read social media stuff on it. I was like, I'm not.
I tried not to, but
I'm not going to be
there were headlines
affected.
that were spoilers.
I see. As soon as I
bad.
saw the word Infinity War on something, I ignored it. I ignored the whole thing.
We could have been in
And
a
I
war,
went
and I
into-
wouldn't have known because I was ignoring all headlines that had the word war in it.
I mean, I just didn't want to like.
But you know what I found?
I knew people were going to die. I just was like, well, if I'm going to pay money to see this, I'd rather be surprised and like enjoy the awesomeness that Marvel's over forever.
But you know what I found out like during Infinity Wars when I like skipped all that media stuff?
Yeah.
It's actually not that hard to skip all that shit and ignore that stuff.
That's true.
You can
It's not that
unplug.
hard.
You can unplug from every. Yeah, you can easily just unplug.
It's like I don't understand.
You don't have to open your Facebook app.
I just wasn't on the hype train, so I didn't. It was easy for me to ignore it. But like Solo, like I wanted to watch every trailer that came out because I'm like, this is so crazy. Like they fired the other director, the brothers, and now Ron Howard came in at the last minute to finish this movie. And everybody's like doesn't know if Han Solo, the actor, is going to be able to portray Harrison Ford. It was like all this drama about it, and that to me made it so interesting.
I really enjoyed that.
And then it was a great movie.
I really enjoyed.
I think it goes. This whole conversation goes back to something we said a while back, where everything is turning to become a content. Yeah. Where you don't fucking need 5 trailers for a fucking film. Yeah. You just need 1 trailer, get people hype about it, and then.
I'm sorry. Can I say something real quick? Because just on what you guys were just saying, I actually just saw literally last night. I think it was Simon Pegg was promoting Mission Impossible Fallout, and he basically took a moment to like talk about this thing that because he was a big fanboy, right?
Yeah.
Like, he came from that era of just being a nerd and a fan, like on the internet and shitting on the things he hated and loving the things
he
he
was
loved.
in that movie Paul, which is probably
but exactly.
Yeah.
And he had that show Spaced back in the day. But he basically was saying that he felt really shitty and was apologizing for shitting on Jar Jar Binks. Now, you can go, oh, but who cares? Well, it's come up recently that the guy who played Jar Jar Binks is basically like really heavily contemplated suicide because literally like his whole performance and his career and everything was shot on so heavily by like a generation or two.
The irony that,
and that could be really like we just think that
that was
no
like really
victim.
before the social media existed.
It was, but then
it would be. He would probably be dead now. Like if it happened today, like that guy would. And he was gonna have that reaction.
But then that girl in Last Jedi,
Last Jedi, she like got off Twitter.
Actress, like that whole thing. She was
Fans
Instagram.
are insane. They're
but he was
so
basically
insane
saying
to me.
that he was like that at one point, and he's like, he kind of grew up out of that going, this is just not okay. You get so insular, you get so self-involved that you forget that there's actual live human beings on the other end of this.
These
yeah.
people aren't
yeah.
the characters.
Yeah.
You know,
it's so crazy. I would never go after an actor and actress if I thought they gave a bad performance in a universe that I love. Like if Spider-Man or Tom Holland was a bad Spider-Man, I wouldn't send death threats to Tom Holland's house. Like that's his fault. I'm like,
but it's almost like
that's the
disconnect,
thing.
like you're working in a
That's
role-playing
the thing with
fantasy
social
land. It's all
media.
fantasy to them.
It's
almost.
become
all these Looney Tunes out there, man.
Fucking Looney
Scary.
Tunes.
social media and all
Zombieland.
these online platforms have become a place where group mentality is grown, and you don't have to have a face with it.
Yeah,
you
it's
don't
true.
have to have a face
Well,
with it.
people
So it's
think
easy
they're
to be
anonymous,
that.
but I'm like, nobody's anonymous,
Yeah.
bro.
No.
Like, you start sending death threats to somebody,
Yeah.
the FBI is gonna knock on your fucking door.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
you're not
Group
anonymous.
mentality meaning like if somebody throws a rock, another person throws a rock, and everybody's now throwing a
Oh
rock.
yeah,
Yeah.
The mob,
You know,
mob
it's-
mentality.
Yeah, the mob mentality,
It's also
exactly.
group mentality.
Group mentality, mob mentality. It's
Yeah,
the same thing.
it's the
Like,
same thing. Yeah,
everybody's
it's-
gonna pick up a
it's
pitchfork and
crazy.
they don't even know what they're
and
fighting
it's
for.
easy because you don't have a face, so you can say something, and it's kind of like you're protected behind a wall, so you can hurt somebody's feeling, and that's fucking sad.
I blame chat rooms. It all started from there.
I never look.
When you first found a chat room and you realized you could say anything you
You would say
fucking
crazy
wanted.
shit. You were like,
Man, you could claim to be whoever you wanted to be. You could say whatever the fuck. Remember
yeah,
that
but we
shit?
were like
The
11 years
power?
old. Oh, I guess they're 11 years old today.
Chat rooms are still
Yeah.
around. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm just
AOL,
saying.
you're talking about that
AOL.
AOL,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about.
Getting
That's
in
where it
those-
started. I remember the
those
first time I
secret
found
rooms.
that. Yeah, I first found that shit. I was like, I can do whatever I want, and it was not good.
It's like, I am a god.
you cannot be trusted
And
with
after
that
Nick
kind of
started
power.
typing on it, that's when they came out with the show How to Catch a Predator.
Yeah, that is exactly. Yeah, Making a Murderer. They were looking at me as a possible subject of that film.
This podcast
that-
is being
that
recorded
show.
out of Jail Cell 3.
Random question, because I was thinking this earlier when I was talking about finding the movies in the newspaper.
Yeah.
Did you guys have 777 film here? Movie phone? Did you have movie phone?
I remember movie phone.
Like they
I
had
never
that
called
app now,
it.
movie phone, but like I used to use it all the time. Once
Yeah.
I used to use the newspapers, and then once they came out with movie phone, I would pick up
It
a
was-
payphone, drop in a quarter, whatever, and I go 777 3456.
Of course you would.
FILM.
The only thing I ever called.
Hello and
was-
welcome to Movie Phone, brought to you by Z100.
The only thing I ever called was like I was playing a Super Nintendo
I'm gonna
game
try to
and it
call
had
it
like
right
a
now, see if
number
they-
on the
Right.
back,
It's 212 777 3456.
and they had a number on the back, and then I called it, and it was like $10 a minute or some shit.
Oh,
It was like, and I was like, how do I, it was an automated system actually.
Okay.
Now that I remember, and they like told me how to beat the boss at the
Yeah,
end.
movie phone.
My parents were very upset.
I'm sure.
when they
Movie
got their
phone was
bill.
free. I just, I usually would be on the street and I just grab a pay phone and I'd drop a quarter in.
I just
so
got
but if you
rejected.
call, is it not?
I haven't heard that before.
Is it not?
It said call rejected.
Wait, are you saying it's not even
Oh.
a fucking thing anymore?
No, it's
It's
a call.
I mean, it makes sense that it wouldn't be, but they it was automatic, and he would be like, "These are the movies that are playing now, playing," and then he would go, "Batman Forever playing at United Artists Theater on."
Oh, you would put your
46
zip code in or something?
It was local. It's 212-777 film. So yeah, you would put your zip code in, I think, but it was all in the local area because this was the New York one because it was 212 area code.
Oh, so
I don't
maybe
know if
were,
they had
like,
them in other
local to each
areas.
area. I do remember
And then-
like
No, they
seeing
did. I know what you're
promotions
talking
for
about.
it.
They
I
did.
never called it though.
Okay, and then they would
Like
he
we
would
would
be
just
like,
as
"Now
our
play."
family. This is what we did. Our family would literally either hear about a movie in advance.
Yeah.
In the
See it.
late '90s, it was like early internet. You could hear
Okay.
about it in advance, but like
Okay.
prior to that,
Yeah.
you just show the fuck up at the theater,
Or you'd see a preview at
and
another,
whatever looked good that's what you saw.
Or you would see another movie in a theater and you'd see a preview to one coming out, and then you would like
Dude,
kind of make a
it was
mental note of
all-
it.
It was poster based.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
would see a fucking poster for whatever the new movie was, and that's when you would go, "Oh, that looks interesting. Let's go
Right.
inside." It would be like,
Did you get rejected?
Yeah, it says call rejected. I literally it's so sad.
Can you imagine
Yeah.
making your entire decision on whether or not you? I mean, I guess people do it now, probably on Netflix. If you don't know about a movie,
So
You
yeah,
see,
well they
like,
always have those little
a
previews.
synopsis
They have
or
those little
whatever.
previews that automatically play on Netflix. On
But a lot of
the
those
apps.
don't have like any dialogue.
No, they
it's just
don't.
like
It's
music.
some random
and
music.
looping.
Yeah.
like there never was a.
But it
trailer
can give
or
you an
something.
idea sometimes.
Yeah.
Well,
But
we
like-
just talked about that. I fucking hate that they do now. Is they give you a preview to the trailer before the trailer.
It's so
Like,
weird.
what the fuck is that shit?
A teaser
Stop
trailer.
that fucking shit right now. That makes me
I actually
fucking
wish
angry.
I could disable the
How the
automatic.
fuck are you gonna show the middle of the
playing.
fucking
You
trailer?
should find the people who make the
I
trailer
will-
and start shitting on them.
Man,
and sending
don't
death
let me
threats.
say. I will say some words right now that I'm gonna do to you that
gonna
you.
regret.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
actually do not like that.
Let's
when
have a
you
moment
select
like
a
that.
movie
You're
and
getting
it
too serious.
automatically
I'm getting fucking
starts,
angry at this
It
shit.
automatically starts playing the preview.
You mean
I
I'm
don't
getting
like
too
that at all.
serious? Huh?
Can you disable it?
No, I don't
No,
think so.
it's
app?
stupid.
I don't like when the
I'm gonna
mu-
say
yeah.
right now, it is stupid.
You guys are jacking up my data.
It is. It's
Anyways.
retarded. Anywho,
But yeah, so tent poles, I don't think a tent pole could end up on Netflix, but Netflix is trying to change the whole game. So, maybe in
No,
10
it has.
years, a tent pole
No,
would be...
Tentpoles
Tentpole,
can end up
yeah.
on Netflix.
Star Wars is on
No,
Netflix.
I'm talking about as an original.
I
An
think so. I
original-
think we're almost there, if not there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you
But
include
is Netflix
television
gonna do
series,
merchandise? Yeah.
like
They have.
Stranger Things is a
They have.
temple.
No, no,
it's
temples
not
are
temple.
movies. Temples
Yeah.
are movies, and they actually support studios.
well,
they specifically say that
agreeing
it's
with
a
him
studio.
for Netflix.
But I'm sure
Netflix is a studio. Stranger Things can be a temple, but it's not. I don't think.
I think
Netflix
when they say
has
studio,
a,
though, they're talking about the 5 or so.
But
big
Stranger
studios.
Things is never
it's like
going to be a
we're,
movie.
We're talking about the
because-
platforms are changing, so
Yeah.
Netflix can be a studio. They don't have any tentpole productions. I don't see anything that can be considered a tentpole right now
with their films.
Star,
But see, you guys
no,
look
They're
no,
not
anything-
making
well,
money. They're
no,
not
I'm-
making their own money. They're
Yeah.
making their content.
That's all
value.
invested.
That's not necessarily true.
You don't- there's no
if
ads on 'em. You
When
don't-
they release Stranger Things and then word of mouth spread and everybody on fucking Facebook
But
and
it can't
Twitter
be
were like, oh my God,
exactly cause
people
and
were
effect.
signing up
I
for
know. I'm
Netflix,
not saying-
and they could have just made an extra $100 million that month
Of
because
course.
everyone
Yeah, but it's
wanted
not
to watch
considered.
it.
That
But
doesn't
it's
make it
not
a
cause and
template.
effect. It's not enough cause and effect
Yeah.
where you can go, somebody paid for a ticket to this thing and here's the money. That's what I'm saying. It's a little bit different. That's how their mentality
Well,
is
they
create as
can't
much content as
associate
you create enough content to bring people to the platform.
But
right?
what's interesting is
they
that.
can-
But hold on. Like the tentpole movie franchise, like Marvel, relies solely on the film platform, the theater platform.
Yes.
And a Blu-ray in 4K,
Yeah,
Blu-ray,
and
all
merchandise and
DVD,
toy line and all
merchandising,
that, yeah.
all that stuff. So on Netflix, it's a completely different platform. They could release like a television series, an original television, a seasonal series,
Mm-hmm.
or like a series of films, and they don't have to rely on that at all.
Right.
They don't have to rely on whether or not it's it's successful at the box office or people
I
show
know
up
that's
to
what we were
see
saying.
it
It
or
takes
whatever.
the pressure off them too.
Yeah,
to a
that's what
degree,
they're. You can't even really compare the two. And for all we know, they could be
think
happening the whole time. I would consider Stranger Things like a
the term-
tentpole type product
But
because
I would
there's-
consider it a
No,
temple,
because we
but
don't know
it's
how much
not.
money it's making though.
yeah, but there's it's released on it's on Blu. You can buy it on Blu-ray, like
Right.
physical medium, and you can watch it on streaming. And there's like T-shirts, toys.
I'm sure there's toys.
All this
So-
pop
But
culture
tentpole,
shit
I think, is a
associated
more
with that
specific
show.
definition, though. I
think-
like it's not. Is it solely supporting? Can it basically almost completely support that studio and company
so
on Stranger
hold on a
Things
second.
alone? If you took everything off that platform and just left Stranger Things, would it completely support Netflix?
So
Yes.
No, it wouldn't.
It's not
Fuck
good.
off.
It's
Fuck
not
off.
good.
It is a
It's
great
not
show.
good.
but
No, it wouldn't
you're
because
fucking-
they're already getting backlash.
You're full of your
on-
own
on the
asshole,
next
all
one.
right? You're full of your own asshole. That's bullshit.
So temple films, temple is I think it's a terminology for films itself, but there are productions that are a TV series that can be considered a tent pole, like Walking Dead was to AMC. Walking Dead really was. You can consider it a tentpole production.
Game of Thrones.
to
No,
For
there's-
to
HBO.
AMC. Yes, it made a lot of money. Now I'm saying the
don't think that's the
terminology
point, though. I
is
think-
specific to.
If you were to take
yeah.
everything away from these major studios, right, except for their tentpole films, like you
But
just
what's
leave
the
the tentpole.
difference?
No, because a tentpole is like, okay, for instance, when you have a tent up, right, and you have a tent pole, if you take the pole away, the whole thing collapses, right?
Correct.
They
If you
cannot
take
live
Game of
without that
Thrones
tent
away
pole.
from
HBO
HBO,
would still be fine because they went.
they'll be fine, but I guarantee you their income is going to significantly
not-
reduce. People are going to
But does it
cancel their
solely
subscriptions and
support
be like,
it?
"Oh, well, it's over. It's the only thing I gave a shit about."
Can a tentpole? It could solely support the whole operation. It makes
Well, that's
so much
what I'm
fucking
saying.
money. I
Yeah,
think
but
that's the
I
idea.
feel like
Well, that's what I'm
HBO
saying.
and
That's
Netflix
why
have bigger
it's-
operations than some of these.
That's why
studios.
that
HBO will
terminology-
be fine without a tent.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, it will make less money, but it will not collapse on itself.
Well, that's
You know
what I'm saying.
mean?
That terminology is specific to films.
I see what you're
I
saying.
don't know.
But you
I
can
do see what
consider-
you're saying.
Yeah, I think
But-
that's the idea behind why they call it a tentpole as
All
opposed
right,
to a
whatever.
blockbuster. Because blockbuster and tentpoles are considered different things. You can even look. There's articles on it like, what's the difference between a blockbuster and a tentpole? A blockbuster makes a lot of money, but a tentpole supports. Diego,
what's-
you were the one that kept every time I try to define tentpole, you kept saying it feeds them, it supports them.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
not arguing that.
No, you're fucking arguing something, and it's driving me up a goddamn wall.
That's your personal fucking problem, and I'm not arguing that. What the fuck is wrong?
my
See, he
prerogative.
shouldn't have had fucking coffee. This guy is like
He's like
deranged
wired,
right
dude.
now.
He's wired.
He's like in a fucking weird place.
like,
he's
well-
in Stranger Things.
all right.
This guy's a Demogorgon right now.
I know, right?
Fucking caffeine
Fucking
starting to get into a Demogorgon.
I'm sorry, but you killed my cat.
But like, so what's an example? Like, we should give, if there's, the viewers out there, an example of essentially a potential tentpole franchise that failed and collapsed the studio. So they actually can go, oh, it actually happened in the real world. This is a real fear.
Well,
that
unless we're talking about
studios have.
Canon Films, where Masters of the Universe sold
Canon
it.
was, well, everyone
Totally
should go
different.
out and watch the documentary on Canon. It was
Oh my
amazing.
God, yeah. The
Masters of the
Wild
Universe
and
didn't kill
Untold
it?
Yeah.
Was it Masters of the
It
Universe?
was Masters of the Universe.
Go watch Masters of the Universe. It's really good.
A wild and untold story about Masters of the Universe destroyed Canon Films.
That's not what it's called. It's called Electric Boogaloo.
The wild and untold story of Canon Films. Is this still on Netflix?
It's so good. Yeah.
Please, if
it
you haven't
is.
seen that, watch
It
it.
is
That's
great.
hilarious.
It's
There's
just
so much
fun.
interesting and like all those Chuck
We
Norris
also,
films and
Delta Force, all the Death Wish sequels.
Charles Bronson films.
The
Delta
two
Force,
Chucks. What
whatever.
do they call them? The two Chucks. It was like all their movies.
They
was like,
supported.
They would get a script and like just give it to one of the two Chucks. It was either Charles Bronson or Chuck Norris.
I feel like
Norris,
if
yeah.
I had a lot of money and I could just like make shit films or whatever, and I could just throw money at cool, interesting ideas, like I would. It
Right.
would be fun.
It would be.
Netflix does that.
Yeah, that's what they
Netflix
do.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah, Netflix is literally
All-
was it Globus and
Globus and
Gollum?
was
Gollum?
Gollum, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why they're
Gollum?
them not
Gollum.
releasing
Mogan?
their
Golan,
Golan.
Golan,
Yeah.
right?
They're basically Canon Films.
Yeah.
But that's why
what Netflix
them not
is.
releasing the numbers. I think that's a great strategy for
It's
them.
very smart.
It is
It's
smart.
awesome.
Yeah, you're
It's
right.
very smart because it actually they control their own PR in that way. Like you can't be like, oh look, it failed, and like the public can't see the failure of it.
Yeah, what about Cloverfield?
Because
I was super curious to see how well
the
that
media
did.
and social media
Yeah.
on box office things almost destroy film. They're like, it failed. Like you see these headlines, blah fails at the box office, or Mission Impossible shows that
And
it's
you can't
impossible
have
to make
that.
money. Though that didn't happen with Mission Impossible, but you get the idea. Like a headline could destroy a film. Somebody goes, oh, it didn't make a lot of money. I'm not going to go see it because it must have been shit.
Well,
like they make that connection.
Netflix is
Correct,
so
yeah.
different though. Like when you go to see it, like you have a limited amount of time to go see Mission Impossible Fallout. But on Netflix, like that J.J. Abrams produced, Cloverfield film,
Paradox.
it's going to be on there forever.
Yeah.
Doesn't leave. They don't
you can
take.
watch
They
it.
don't take
Buy
their
the
originals
Blu-ray.
off.
Yeah, I'll buy the Blu-ray.
Are you going to buy it on Blu-ray?
I'll definitely buy Fallout and Blu-ray. I think I have all the missions.
Oh no! I'm just saying though, it's limited. So
In
people
theaters?
saying So you have a limited
anymore.
time to see it. So
Yeah, it's limited
The
in theaters
decision
more
as to
now.
whether or not you see
I got my
it.
VR theater.
All right.
My
But I
personal.
mean, but you see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
the decision whether or not you see it is like more time based if you
Yeah.
want to have the theatrical experience versus like
a lot of
if it's
pressure.
only ever on Netflix
Yeah.
and there's no theater. It's like, oh, I'm like, oh, they're like, oh, they just released season 3 of Stranger Things. It's like, great, I'm like this super busy this month, but I'll check it out next
Yeah.
month or whatever.
Which you gotta love their new
If
trailers.
I did that with Mission Impossible, it might be out of theaters. Now I have to wait for 6 months for it to be released on Blu-ray or whatever the fuck.
Right. Yeah.
Which is it's not even moving that slow anymore. That's
It
the
is pretty
interesting part.
fast,
It's
actually.
pretty fucking fast. Yeah.
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 And
I keep
maybe that's
seeing
that's
all
what
these-
started shutting me out of not going to the theater so much.
Yeah.
Because it was so fast.
turnaround is, like,
the
super
turnaround was
fast.
so quick.
But Netflix is the solution to indie films making money. Netflix, Prime Video, all these things are the solution for indie filmmakers because now they have a platform because they used to indie films like you couldn't even get
But
them
it's-
made. It was
it's
so
so
hard.
cluttered, though.
But now you don't have actual film stock. You're using digital video, which makes it a digital film, which is way cheaper to make a movie now.
The thing with Netflix that's like not good
Yeah.
is it's so fucking cluttered. It's
There's
like
so
so
much
hard for
stuff.
me to find new content.
That's why
why
they have the
content.
algorithm to suggest things.
That's
to
why
you.
their new platform is a lot easier.
Yeah.
You check
Dude,
it. It's-
I went. Yeah, last
really-
night I was browsing through Netflix and I went to I think the comedy section and I was like, I'm gonna go really far down. I scrolled down and I was like, what the fuck
It's
are
like
all
a-
these movies?
Yeah.
It was like
It basically
Airbud
turned it
19.
at some point. It just goes complete foreign film.
It was like
And I'm
Airbud
oh, this is
19,
interesting.
Space Dogs, or it was so ridiculous.
It is
like,
crazy, yeah.
Like Airbud.
I'm pretty sure there's like
Airbud-
secret softcore porn. on
Airbud
Netflix,
Spikes
like,
Back.
hidden
It was
in
like
there.
Airbud Spikes Back, and I think it was like the golden retriever.
Airbud
Spikes Back.
Spikes
It was
Back,
like he's
okay.
playing soccer now. I
A
guess.
sequel to Airbud.
But it's like the 19th sequel, and they're all on Netflix. And then there was like Ant Boy 3. They had all
Ant-Boy.
3 of them. They were like, it was like basically Spider-Man, but it was like some like 8-year-old kid, and he gets bit by an ant, and now he has the powers of an ant, which is he crawls on all fours very slow and like makes a little.
Dude,
I gotta
dirt
show you what I
mountains,
did at
guess.
work. I gotta show you what I did at
But
work.
there's so much shit on Netflix, and
It's
it's like
true.
I don't know what I'm looking at.
They don't.
So-
yeah.
So I have a friend of mine who was in love, a black guy. He was in love with Black Panther, and when they did the video for promoting Black Panther, and
Yeah.
I feel like this is a racist story.
no, it's not. No, he was like he was walking around the
Draco's not
office.
racist.
Why
yeah.
do you have to say he was black? Why couldn't he just been a guy who liked Black Panther?
Because you
It's
understand when you
context.
listen to the
This
end of
is
the story.
context. It's
You
context.
understand? Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Neil.
Yeah.
It's context. I want to hear it. It's
So he walked around the office acting like he was superhero. So I had to give him a superhero name, so I called him the Black Pigeon. And I made this trailer. It's fucking hilarious. It's not trailer, it's teaser. And I made
Isn't
this
that a
logo.
crow, by the way?
It's
Black
hilarious.
pigeon.
What the fuck?
Oh yeah, I guess
Yeah.
it's like basically Brandon Lee.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the crow.
The crow, yeah, because it's a black
Black
bird
pigeon,
was
black
like
bird
we
would
have
be-
crow.
I'm just saying. And they're like you're eating crow. It
Although
fucking fucks up your stomach, man. It's
crows are like-
they
No,
taste like
crows have a
pigeon.
bigger
More
beak.
vicious
Yeah.
than pigeons. Pigeons are kind of
Yeah,
stupid.
yeah.
They like flying to windows
They're
and shit.
they're flying rats. I mean, all birds
Now
flying
it's
to
starting to
windows.
I'm not saying your friend's stupid. I don't know him. He might be a cool guy.
See,
no.
that's racist. 'Cause he's
Is
black.
it?
Well, you're black, so you can do that.
Yeah.
Do
so-
what? What did I do? All
I
right,
envy- you know
I'm
how
so
much I hate
confused.
being a
no
white
one's
guy?
Being, me and Tango
know how-
aren't being racist.
You know how much
big-
I
yeah.
hate being a white guy? It sucks. You're black, so you get to do whatever you want, say whatever you want. He's
true.
from
I'm
Brazil, so he
also-
can make all his things. I gotta sit here and be
I'm not
like,
just black.
huh?
I got the best of both worlds.
You're
my
Native
friend.
American. You got some and white,
and white.
and you got white. Yeah, you do have the best.
So
of both
I
worlds,
like
yeah.
the best of both worlds.
And you look like you could be anything.
So
you
I
could
could
be
be
in
on-
Libya.
I
What
could
do you
be on
mean you got the
either
best-
side of the argument and like be supporting it or not supporting it.
You could drop as
And no
many-
one's ever
any-
going to be like, "Hey, you should be." Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you could use the N word in any context whatsoever. Like you could use it in any way you want,
True.
and I couldn't even say it as like referencing what you just said. I'm like just stuck. Not that I want to use the word,
Here we go.
but like you don't even listen to rap.
Getting uncomfortable.
You don't even listen to the rap music.
I listen to some rap.
I know you.
I'm
do.
more of a rock and roll person. I like
Pearl
He's
Jam.
got a lot of white.
Pearl
in
Jam
him.
and,
Yeah.
and rock. Yeah, that's true. I grew up in the suburbs.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what
you
happens.
did.
Yeah.
Wow. I guess this is a good place to end, huh?
Uh,
Completely end on a tangent.
we're
That's
going to
what
have
we
to
should
cut
do.
all this out.
No, we
All
can't.
of it.
It was like 40 minutes of the podcast.
I'm just gonna cut
What are
out
you talking
his
about?
racist rant.
No, you didn't even finish your Black Pigeon story.
That was
I
the end
did.
of it.
Oh, that
I
was
created
it?
a-
This
I
is how
created
he
a
ends his
teaser.
stories.
No, what are you talking about? I
He
created a
ends his
teaser.
stories, which are like, I made a black pigeon. He's not going to describe anything about it.
I thought there was
I
more
wish-
to
I
it.
can't show
and,
the
like,
He
video.
fails on the third act. It's
How
just
the
like
fuck do you show the
crashes
teaser
and
on a
burns.
podcast?
No, I
Audio
didn't think
podcast.
you were going to show it. I just
No,
thought
that's how
like
I'm
you were
gonna
going to
finish
tell
my
me what
story.
his
I'm gonna
reaction was to the Black Pigeon.
It was fucking hilarious.
He was
he loved
offended.
it?
Yeah, no, we're getting. So now what we're gonna do is
He wrote
like,
him up.
all the B-roll that he's in.
Yeah.
we're gonna create previously on the Black Pigeon.
Oh, is this Chris?
Yeah, this is Chris. Yeah,
Okay.
so this is gonna be an ongoing thing because now we have a logo, and we have a teaser.
That's
I'll
great.
show it to you because I can't show it in the podcast.
He's
'cause
literally
it's
going to get
audio.
fired on Monday. You're going to find out. He got fired over this black pigeon thing that he's like talking up.
No, everybody saw it. Everybody loved it.
Yeah.
Why would I get fired?
The wrong. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Who's
Don't-
the wrong?
don't pull
You mean the
Papa John.
racist?
You
You
wanna
mean
take-
the
you wanna get a
wait,
pool going?
wait. You mean the racist motherfucker that does something stupid?
Yeah.
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 Like Papa John.
Yeah. Who-
Papa
yeah.
John.
Like Papa John. yeah.
Yeah.
Papa John.
Can't pay, yeah.
All right.
They make
Anyhow.
good pizza.
Not great. It's
Go-
all right.
They
Don't,
make
don't
good-
hype up
they
Papa
make
John
okay
that much.
pizza.
They make okay pizza.
Go buy Papa John's tonight.
No, don't.
Anyway,
Domino's sucks too. Okay. Keep
Domino's is not bad. Why are you shit on Domino's?
If you have to say it's not bad, means
I'll
it's
tell
not
you
great.
right now, I've been to like dive pizza places where it's like a one-off,
Yeah.
like family owned, and Domino's destroys them.
Domino's-
And Domino's is like frozen, whatever chemical shit.
It tastes. It's like got powder on their fucking.
So much better
I don't
though
understand
than
what's
some of
going
these
on.
places I've been
Pizza
to that like
Hut.
don't know how to make pizza.
Now, if
Yeah,
Domino's
Pizza
wants
Hut's
to
really
sponsor the
kinda
podcast,
bad.
I will change my whole view on the whole thing. If Domino's wanted to sponsor this podcast, I will straight up delete this episode later on.
If anybody
I will
would
sell my
sponsor-
soul for sponsorship.
Oh, I know we're probably getting close to the end, but I did want to mention.
Come close?
I thought about this in the
Shit.
like before we even started it. I wanted to mention A Quiet Place, which is an interesting
I
film.
was gonna watch it on
Beautiful
Friday. I haven't
film.
watched it yet.
Great film.
I haven't watched it, but
Great film.
it's people consider it an indie film, but
It
it's
is.
like
It
backed
made,
by
like,
a studio, and it made a fuck
500
ton of
million
money.
or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's not a
Yeah,
Tentpole
and,
film,
and
but
there's
it's
a sequel coming,
it's a
so it could
great
become
film.
a
John-
tentpole, but like a transition from an indie to a tentpole.
John Krasinski.
There could be like 5
It's a
sequels.
John
very
Krasinski
cla-
wrote and directed this movie.
No, I know, but I'm saying that this could become like I don't know, The Ring or whatever. How
Yeah.
many Ring movies are there? 3,
Oh
4?
yeah, 3 or 4. Yeah.
Yeah, so
No, I don't-
like
I
it
don't know
could
if
turn
it'll
into
become
that
The
where it
Ring.
was like an indie.
Watch the film.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll become The Ring.
They're already making a sequel.
Yeah.
I know they're making a sequel. Yeah, I
Fucking
understand why they're
Jim
making a sequel because
Halpert.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
But
Jim
I don't think
Halpert
it'll become a
directed this
Ring.
thing.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Jim Halpert. I just
know.
think that's so.
I
And
know,
his
you know,
wife is in
actually,
it. It's him and his
honestly-
wife played a main character.
honestly-
I really want to see it. I haven't seen it.
Honestly, I take that back because I could see now talking about it. I can see so many ways they can go with it.
Yeah, if the
but
second
it's
is
a great
really
independent
good,
film.
But
It's
that is a
great-
good point. Like that is.
but they could do like these Netflix only, you know, like
But Get Out is also another one.
What is it
These
called?
These things that kind of
I
ride
totally
the
just
sleeper
blanked
hits.
out on.
One
Quiet
else?
Place. So it could be like Quiet Place 6, you know, super
Oh, yeah.
quiet
Yeah.
time or whatever,
Super
like the Netflix
quiet time.
original or whatever. you know
Quiet
what I mean?
Place 8, still quiet.
It's like a Quiet Place.
Yeah.
Shh, part 7
Yeah.
or whatever, you know.
Quiet Place 8. We shouldn't even said the title.
Yeah,
Sounds like, it's
basically.
like these porn titles. You ever gone to like, I don't have porn sites, but you ever been on like your TV guide kind of thing where you go down to the porn channels, you could read the titles,
Oh, they're great.
and it's like
So good.
Mama says stop banging the babysitter, he's mine first, part 8, you know, or
It's always like
big
part
shafts,
8,
big
12,
shafts inserted
14.
into large holes, part 8.
What
you
the
know,
fuck is your
babysitters.
porn issue?
They're crazy. Like my wife and I will just sit there and just read like for the next 10 hours worth of like
They have to
content
be
coming out.
Yeah, this is
descriptive,
what we're
man.
gonna do. This is what
They're
we're
trying
gonna
to
do.
give you an idea in your mind so that you'll
Yeah.
pay the $70 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You can buy
We're gonna
the
do a
thing.
podcast and allow.
Are they
Neil-
expensive? I don't know.
I don't. I'm sure they are. Who's paying for
What?
porn these days?
People.
We'll allow Nick to
Surprisingly.
let all his porn terminology and all his tendencies come out for 40 minutes.
That's awkward.
Well, as long as you stay on that side of the room, it won't be awkward. And turn around, actually.
I love when he say. I love the dead silence. So you just let that one just.
It is a part of the. It is
Nobody-
a, it is a part of the
nobody-
film industry, right? I mean,
It is a part of the
technically-
film industry. but
they've been known to kind of like veer the industry towards different formats. You know, DVD was because porn embraced it first. VHS, I think, was a big porn thing first. Blu-ray, all that. They kind of no.
It's an interesting market. I don't know.
Really?
It's boring. It's boring. Porn is great when you're younger, but it sucks when you're older.
I mean, it's weird. Like, it's that whole thing is weird because then you kind of like there's this weird like NC-17 in like actual films where like they kind of like go, you know, they're trying to convey like the lust or whatever between two characters in a Hollywood film.
Yeah.
And then some of the films kind of like go too far. What was that Shia LaBeouf film he did? where it was like,
Nymphomaniac.
yeah, like all these people are like, oh, it's outrageous, it's a porno or whatever, and I'm like, well, I don't
seen
know.
porn. It's very different.
Yeah,
It's
I'm like, this is like two really good, an actor and an actress,
Yeah.
like doing a really good, like, you know,
Yeah.
fake.
it's explicit, but it's not.
It's just an interesting
Porn, you
line.
can see her kidneys. It's
But
like
my point is like that interesting transition. So I'm sure to some degree, like the porn industry is probably like, we got to introduce more stories into this shit because it's just boring or whatever.
Yeah.
Like we need to have like an
I remember
actual.
they did a Pi- they did a
and there's
Pirates of
some
the
guy
Caribbean.
that's like writing,
Yeah.
shitting out like scripts for like the
Porn in
80.
space, porn in the
I
sewer,
got
porn in this.
700 films to make this year. I got to make 700 screenplays to
All right.
make this work.
he's like, all right, I got an idea. Sausage party already been done. Shit.
Sausage Party 27.
27, 69.
27, yeah.
It'll be the second one, but we'll call it 69.
This
That's
totally
clever,
derailed.
Doug.
This totally derailed. I was trying to make it
Anywho,
sensical. I was
yeah,
trying to make
yeah.
it logical.
Anywho, all
All
right.
right, well, that was a big fucking tangent.
Yeah.
All right, Tentpole. Literally. All right.
Oh, man.
Not literally.
Oh man.
Eh.
I'm just gonna close this.
Yeah, all right. We're done. We're
Well-
leaving.
No, we're an hour in. Stop.
an hour in?
Stop, Neil.
I'm done.
Stop with your end
Well,
of the
listen, we want to thank
podcast.
you guys for coming.
Fucking dude
Evil
should not
laugh.
drink coffee. Man. Dude should not drink coffee at all.
Oh. man.
Anywho, all right, guys.
Right,
Just leave right now. Everybody, just turn around, walk away from the podcast, and I'll see you next week.
Give us a song.
I'll see you next
Take us out of
week.
here, Neil. Give us a song.
And we'll talk then. Thank you for listening to Get to the Podcast. Let's get to the podcast with number 2. I'm not even gonna say my name. You guys just walk away right now.
We already did that.
You can
We
say
already
your
did our
name.
names.
Just walk away.
Did we do our names?
Goodbye.
Walk away.
Yeah, just walk away.
No.
Just walk away.
Walk
We'll see you
down
next
by,
time.
Do, 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 do. Foolish pride.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.